I am here with Mr. Meluskey. Meluskey, you're running for Senate for the United States of America, representing Arizona. You're running against Mr. McCain. Sir, what inspired you to run for office?
Lack of real leadership in Washington, here in the state, of course, also. I am a citizen first, and then a politician second. I believe John McCain has been in office too long, 32 years to this date. He will have been serving in the House and the Senate for 34 years when this term is over, and I believe it's time for new representation. People that actually get the rest of the people, understand the country. But the reason I'm running, aside from that, I have my son with me here today. I have my daughter at home. They're not going to receive the same country that I inherited when I was born. This country is not in a good place, and I have the ability, I am blessed to be in a position where I can give back to our country, to help put it in the right direction, and that's what I'm doing. People often ask me, well, what was the real deciding factor? I know you love your family, I know you want to do it. Did you have to pray on it? Did you have to get to a point where you were able to push yourself in? Because weren't you afraid? Didn't you know you have to give up certain things? I built my own business. It's over 20 years in the making, and I've been successful. I've gotten to a point where it doesn't take a lot of my input from day to day to keep the business running. I can pay people to run it for me. I'm not Donald Trump billionaire, but I'm a comfortable man, and I'm in a position where I can move my job aside and do this. And how it really came to a T where I said I have to do this is with my grandfather. I was out hiking with my wife one day trying to look for guidance, praying for some guidance to say, why me? Why should it be me? And as I said, I put my business where it is. I built it. I thought of my grandfather. He came to me. My grandfather fought in World War I. He left college to fight in World War I. He flew planes for the Army. Went back and got his law degree afterwards. And when he was about my age, he was running a big law firm in Europe. Quit his job. Left his wife, a small child at home, in order to go fight for our country again in World War II. When World War II was over, he tried to go back and get his job, and they wouldn't take him back. They were upset with him for quitting to go fight for our country. So he remained in the Army, was a wartime general in Korea, retired a colonel, and then he stayed with the VA. So my grandfather put his life on the line for his country. He gave up his good name within his community and a lot of fortune. So I'm sitting here, standing on his shoulders, my ancestors, building the business that I have. If I don't run to serve my country, I'd be disgracing my good name of my family. So that pretty much answers why I have to do this.
Why are you here, and what message would you like to share with the public?
Well, first of all, the reason I'm here is I support Sheriff Joe and the rule of law. What we have going on in this country right now is an advantage for illegals, a disadvantage for veterans. As a veteran, I've gone through 15 years of hell with the VA hospital. Every time I've gone in, I've come out worse. They tried to kill me with drugs. They lost my file, and it was gone for several weeks because a doctor went on extended leave and left it on her desk. So I had to go to an outside doctor who wrote a scathing letter to the VA back in '04, telling them what a lousy job they had done. And immediately after they received that letter, I received a letter from the Veterans Affairs that said we'd be more than happy to pay for that doctor because I had filed an $8.5 million lawsuit against the federal government, which they came back and offered me $70,000 to settle if I would sign away my rights to the VA hospital. I told them firmly where they could put that offer. They have been doing this to vets long before this exposure came out in the news recently. This has been going on for years, and it's the reason that a lot of us Vietnam vets did not go to the VA hospital and sign up. They had scared us to death.
What about our children? They're trying to annihilate
So I firmly believe that Our current administration, along with a lot of the other administrations, has done nothing for veterans other than give us lip service, and yet they can turn around and pay for anchor babies, for the health care of illegal aliens, for the education of illegal aliens, for the incarceration of illegal aliens, yet they can't help veterans. It's shameful. Every American ought to be ashamed of what our government is doing.
Now, you pointed out that you mailed a letter to John McCain, Senator McCain.
I had sent requests to every one of our elected officials, whether they were congressmen or senators, and I have approximately 7 letters from John McCain's office over 12-year period. I can almost hold them up to the light and read exactly the same thing on every letter. Thank you for sending your information to me. I forwarded it to the Veterans Affairs, and when they get back to me, I'll get back to you. Well, I've been waiting almost 12 years for an answer to the first letter. The others, I have no expectation of ever getting an answer. I expect John McCain to be gone at the next election.
Thank you, Buffalo Bill, and you have a pleasant day, sir.
Thank you.
This is what democracy looks like. 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 This is what democracy looks like.
My name is Michael Lewis Arthur Meyer. I'm a veteran advocate, a veteran and crisis case manager, and founder of Walking for the Forgotten. What I just witnessed this afternoon is a damn shame, America. Hundreds of people came together promoting open borders, illegal immigration, and complaining about a sheriff who's doing his job, but we can't get 10 people to march the street for the veterans that are in crisis across our nation. And that is a shame, because the American veteran fights for every one of us to fight with each other. We have that right because they are paying for it in blood. Where's their protest? Where's their march? Right is right and wrong is wrong. We have laws in this nation, and we need to enforce those laws. We stand in support of Sheriff Joe because he is enforcing those laws. And I just ask anyone who sees this video to remember, more than 22 veterans are abandoned to suicide every day in this nation on behalf of the mothers and fathers and wives and brothers and sisters who are burying their loved ones. God bless you. We are out here fighting for you, and we will prioritize you over the illegal immigrants. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me.